What if enjoying solitude isn't a personality trait, but a pattern your brain learned long before you realized it? Most people assume that if someone spends a lot of time alone, they must be shy, lonely, or avoiding life. But psychology paints a very different picture. For some people, being alone doesn't feel empty. It feels safe. And surprisingly, that feeling often starts years before adulthood. Today, you'll discover 5 hidden psychological patterns that can quietly shape why some people crave solitude, not because they're broken, but because their mind learns something most people never notice. And the last one explains why some people can spend an entire weekend alone and feel happier on Monday than after any party. But before we reach that final reason, point 1. Their brain learned that independence reduced uncertainty. Some children discovered early that waiting for help wasn't always reliable. Instead of expecting rescue, they became skilled at figuring things out alone. Over time, the brain begins rewarding self-reliance. Not because connection is bad, but because control feels safer. Years later, solitude isn't about avoiding people. It's about reducing uncertainty. But independence is only one piece. For many people, the real reason is emotional. Point 2. Their nervous system became sensitive to constant stimulation. Not everyone experiences noise, conversation, and activity the same way. Some brains process more information at once. Psychologists often describe this as differences in sensory sensitivity. When stimulation stays high for too long, the brain works harder. Eventually, quiet isn't simply enjoyable. It becomes recovery. That changes the meaning of being alone. And here's where many people misunderstand themselves. Point 3. They learn to build an inner world instead of constantly seeking the outside one. Some people became fascinated by ideas instead of crowds. Thinking, creating, imagining, questioning. Over time, their imagination became rewarding enough that silence never felt empty. The outside world entertained them. The inside world fulfilled them. But perhaps the strongest reason has nothing to do with imagination. It's about prediction. Point 4. They became experts at reading people before speaking. Some children quietly watched facial expressions, tone of voice, small emotional shifts. Instead of reacting immediately, they collected information first. That habit often remains in adulthood. These people don't dislike conversation. They simply prefer understanding before participating. And observation requires distance. Now here's the pattern that surprises psychologists the most. Point 5. Solitude became associated with emotional safety. The brain constantly asks one question: where do I feel safest? If moments of peace consistently happened while alone, the brain slowly built a powerful association. Being alone became more than a preference. It became a place where stress disappeared. Not because people are dangerous, but because quiet became emotionally predictable. And our brains naturally return to places that feel predictable. So if you enjoy spending time alone, it doesn't automatically mean you're antisocial. It doesn't automatically mean you're lonely. And it certainly doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes, it simply means your brain discovered a different way to recharge, to think, and to feel safe. The real question isn't, why do I like being alone? It's this: what does solitude give me that I struggle to find anywhere else? Your answer might reveal far more about your psychology than you ever expected. When do you feel most like yourself? Surrounded by people, or sitting quietly with your own thoughts? Share your answer below.